In both the Old and New Testaments, God indicates that He has told us about everything ahead of time. In the Old Testament, He says He does nothing without revealing His plans to His servants, the prophets. And His prophets have already written, quite a few years ago, but they have written some clear messages about the future. Christ told His disciples that He told them everything ahead of time. This presentation is entitled The USA, United States of America in Bible Prophecy. Is she in Bible prophecy? Well, we have entered into the time of the end. If you've been listening to my videos or you've been reading your Bible, you've probably come to that conclusion. We know today that the USA is the world's superpower. In Revelation 17 and 18, it names the superpower Mystery Babylon the Great. The prophets call her the Babylonians. God spoke of the Babylonians regarding the time of the end in the prophet Habakkuk. Watch and be utterly amazed, he says. I am going to do something you would not believe. I am raising up the Babylonians, a feared and dreaded people, a law unto themselves. They scoff at rulers. Their strength is their God. Well, the United States scoffed at rulers and kings when they went to war against Iraq. Here in chapter 2 of Habakkuk, God writes, he says, write this down and make it plain. The revelation awaits an appointed time, the time of the end, and it will not prove false. It will come. The time of the end is a period of less than 40 years or so that occurs just before the end of the age and are things that precede the coming of the kingdom and the return of the Messiah. If you've been watching my videos, you know that I already believe that the first seal of Revelation is open and the West, the United States of America, has rode out as a conqueror, determined to conquer. After 9/11, George Bush and the United States, the West, rode out as a conqueror, conquering the Taliban, conquering Iraq, and she today is still bent or determined to conquer in the war on terror. Now, I've taken excerpts from Habakkuk, but you really need to turn to the book of Habakkuk and read the whole thing in context, every word. The U.S. in Bible prophecy. The Babylonians, who sweep across the whole earth and seize dwelling places not their own, their horses are swifter than leopards. Their horsemen come from afar. They fly like a vulture, swooping to devour. They advance like a desert wind and gather prisoners like sand. The Babylonians, they cross the whole earth to attack and take dwelling places. Their horses are swifter than leopards. Their horsemen come from afar. They fly like vultures, swooping to devour. Like a desert wind they advance. Well, the United States crossed the whole earth. Matter of fact, went halfway around the globe to get to Iraq. And when they got there, they advanced like a desert storm. They swooped like vultures to devour. They seized dwelling places not their own. They came like the desert wind. Actually, there was a storm during 2003 which seemed to even picture this, what we see here written in Habakkuk. Habakkuk chapter 1 and 2. Once again, the Babylonians, who sweep across the whole earth to seize dwelling places not their own. Their horses are swifter than leopards, their tanks perhaps. Their horsemen come from afar. Indeed, they fly like vultures swooping to devour. Helicopters, jet planes, they advance like a desert wind. They come from afar. Their horsemen are swifter than leopards. They swoop like vultures to devour and conquer. The USA in Bible prophecy. The USA. World Superpower. Conquered the Taliban in 2002. Conquered Iraq in 2003. Determined to win the war on terror. The Babylonians. Mystery Babylon the Great. We need to be reading our Bible. God said He's told us everything ahead of time, but if we don't read it, we won't know. There have been a lot of books written about Bible prophecy. They're being written every day. But the only Bible that is the truth, the one you can count on, is the Bible itself. Men write what they think the Bible has to say, but the Bible is the word that contains the truth, the ones that contains the prophets, the revelations about the things that are to come. God said He has told us everything ahead of time.